Hello and welcome to another edition of Throwdown Draws. I am Emilio Lopez and I am back doing some arting for you guys. So, yeah, come have some fun and listen to them. We can talk and do all kinds of fun stuff. So, as you may have guessed, the intro probably a little bit of a hint as to what I might be drawing today. Do the third. I actually really liked the new Blade Runner movie. I think it was what's kind of cool about it is that you can pretty much watch it and not have seen the original one. So yeah, that thing is just there for proportions of what I'm going to be doing now. Kind of fun and horror-y sounding. So you really liked Neon. What is it? Neon Devil. It's called. Oh, excuse me, Roger Deakins. You like the cinematographer for Blade Runner? Super. What's really great about Roger Deakins' work is that he's really good at lighting things that are very sort of realistic feeling. He has very simple lighting setups that look really nice. They feel really natural. see what you said. What's up, Kaden to Toniko? How you doing? Just doing some drawing here. Managed to finish my work for today, so I figured I'd also, because I'm preparing for Anime NYC, which is coming the 15th of November, and so as you can see, I'm drawing a little bit more Death Stranding-y stuff. I'm actually trying to complete the little set of the suit, the kind of chibi looking Death Stranding characters. So right now I'm drawing Heartman. Has 17 more days until the game comes out, right? See what you guys are saying. Oh yeah, the con, yeah, 17 days. But I have to make sure that I try to get everything, all the things that I'm ready to get ready for printing and anything that I want to do. And I don't have a lot of time, and you know, I have a good printer, but I don't want to, you know, just pop a bunch of things on them. You guys going to Anime NYC? Nice, you got the weekend pass. Awesome. Right now I'm looking for some quick reference because I need to get his costume proper. But it's hard to find good reference. Let's see. Could also do it like this. That is cool. You got the weekend pass. You looking to looking forward to anything over there? I haven't actually looked at any of the announcements. Just trying to get the shape down. Caden Tikano says there is a guy, Zach Davison, Japanese translator and folklorist. We got a chance to meet him, get his autograph for a book on Japanese ghosts he wrote. Oh, nice. And that was last year? Or is that somebody that you're looking forward to meet? Nice. Yeah, I don't actually get to check around very much when I go to these conventions, when I kind of work them. But this one's actually going to be kind of interesting because they have the artist alley in the same space as the rest of the con. as opposed to like last year where they had us off on the in the like 3rd floor. Trying to at least make all these little guys close to the same size. This guy sort of feels taller than, even though I don't think I've ever seen a shot of him next to, you know, actually standing next to him, but I almost feel that this guy's a bit taller. Trying to find the best face to put on him. Kind of hard to do that when you have oh, the well, that song specifically wasn't from anything Metal Gear related. Actually, I don't have any Metal Gear. Well, no, I do have Metal Gear related songs, but I don't have any obvious ones in here. They come kind of later. Right now, it's another one of his games. seems tall, just by the size of his heads. His, well, I mean, for a lot of those, the song that you probably heard it is the same. A lot of the same music team that worked on it, so you can definitely hear familiar things. But that is not a specific Metal Gear song, or was a specific Metal Gear song. It was actually from Police Knots, like a remixed kind of a album they did a while ago. Like I forgot the album, or it was like an album where they kind of they have this thing, I guess this music group that Konami used to have called the Konami Social Club or something like that, and they used to do a lot of the music for the games. So like this music right here and a bunch of other tracks they all did. So they all have that very familiar sort of sound. This one's from obviously Police Knots, but I think the other one was a Snatcher song. Do 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 do. He looks so mad. This is like he's dealing with it. Maybe I'll give him that face. It's hard to get an idea of what the character is like from a bunch of photos and things. But we'll do our best. Alrighty. So hope you guys are enjoying the music. Nice cool down music. Try not to take too long on these. They're only just meant to be kind of fun little quick drawings. The ink will just pretty much look like this. Just like the other ones. I use a bit of a thicker brush on these to kind of, you know, I just like the way the thicker brushes look on them. But I think I like the character. This is Neo Tokyo from, you know, Snatcher. Yep, it's Psy. For brushes, I actually don't prefer. Kind of depends on the project. For these, I kind of want to be a little bit more of a chunky feel, but I tend to use a little bit of a thinner one. Right now, I'm using a 60. Sometimes I'll use even a 50 might even look better. But I'm also trying to make sure I keep all the line art looking similar for all of these. Very 90s with its saxophone. I think he's got gloves. It's hard to find any sort of reference for him. I mean, so far, I mean, this is just mainly his outfit, so which is fine. Hold on. gonna scrape the trailer a little bit. Okay, he's got... He looks spooked. I don't know what. I don't know what kind of face would fit this guy. I mean, like, usually he's kind of frowning. I don't see him like smiling, like you know, like that. So everybody's kind of frowning, like there we go, frowny. Frowny seems to be good. He always has like, he seems like he's got little jowls going on there, so you'll throw that in there. Explaining his movies. This, what was it? 22 minutes. Every 22 minutes he dies and then comes back to life. The plight of Heartman. And I think he's got that funky box on his chest. I think I might have some reference to that thing. I'll need this. There we go. That's kind of what I'm going for. But I like in the trailer he pulls out that move and he does it kind of obvious, like he pushes it toward the camera like, hey, read this, listen to this, or watch these. There you go, that fits. Something like that. I kind of made the box oversized on his chest, which is kind of like, kind of goes up to here, it looks like. But I wanted it to be a little bit like, a little oversized. It kind of made every one of these guys have like, the props are a little oversized. Like this thing is a little oversized. And then after this, I'm gonna quickly do some, inking on it. The last few times when I did these, I kind of just went, just did a bunch of cleanups. But I think I'm just gonna do, just redraw, re-ink them. Because what I was just doing, just darkening the lines, and then that's it. Like just, erasing it and redrawing it. But I'm thinking I'm gonna do something a little different this time. What was this? It's got this. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to see if I can draw Heartman, and then the character Mama, and then from there just see if I can complete it. And I would have drawn every single character, well, every single main character from Death Stranding. I already drew Cliff, already drew Mads Mikkelsen, drew a couple of Norman Reeduses, or Sam as they want to call him. So right now, it's just this. And I'll, detail the movie a little bit. Though it's probably going to be too small to see. Yep, I got a basic lines with it there. I usually try to do a pretty detailed sketch. It's just kind of the way I am, because usually when I get to keep it like between really rough and rough and fairly clean. Try to keep the hands the same, similar sizes, the boots and shoes, so they all sort of look nice together. If you look at him next to her, they look pretty good together. And it seems like he might be the tallest of the people in the game. And then her shoe size, I try to keep them all similar. Almost feel like he could be a little thinner. Let's see what we'll do. Yeah, I think that works. And I try to keep all their heads very similar sizes. But I think at least from the impressions of his actual height, it seems like this guy's pretty damn tall, like maybe close to 6 feet, or maybe a little taller than 6 feet tall. But there's also sometimes the cut of a person's clothes can also create that sort of feel too. Or if you kind of have skinnier pants, you kind of look a little taller with them. So yeah, keep his shoes similar size so they all feel like they come from the same world, even though there might be different heights. But yeah, I want to be able to put them together, standing next together, and they all look relatively close. Now it's just getting the detail of his suit together. He's got this little No, I haven't looked up his real height. He seems like he might be tall. I'm just judging by the, you know, just by the way his proportions are. And usually, like, let's see. You say if you're like 8 heads tall, that's like pretty tall. Let's see. Even though I'm too lazy to go and check his height because it really doesn't matter much. But let's see. My guess is he could be 6 heads tall. Yeah, he's 6 heads tall. So my guess is he's like maybe 6'2", 6'3". What's the name of this guy's, this director's name? That was a Neon Demon that he did. Let's check. Let's for my curiosity, let's check how tall he is. I don't even remember this guy director's name. Okay, so height. Me, he seems tall. Yep, see, I was right. 6 feet 6'2", so he's pretty damn tall. He's about as tall as me. I stand about 6 feet 2 inches. But what makes him look a little taller than I probably look is his frame is really, he's got a thinner frame than I do. So if we were both the same, we're both pretty much the same height. But I'm a little, if this was me, I'm a little bit of a thicker person. So you know, I'd probably be. I have wider shoulders than he does. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so yeah, my guess was right. He's relatively tall, or for. Yep, I already got his name. Yeah, he's 6 feet tall, 6 feet 2 inches. Pretty much the same height as me. I knew he was, I mean, just by the way his frame looked, he looked like he would be tall. But then again, there are some, like I said, there's some people that have frames that almost, if you look at them, you couldn't tell, they almost look tall, but they're, you know, proportionately height, you know, have a proportionate height. It kind of makes them, especially then again, certain types of clothes cutting a little bit closer can make you look a little taller, like feel taller looking. Like a guy like Tom Cruise, he doesn't seem like, you look at him, he doesn't seem very short, but he actually is quite short. But just the way his frame, his build is, he looks like he could be a tall person. Same with somebody like Robert Downey Jr., or he's also very short, but he looks like he could be a taller person. And he also, I hear he wears lifts too, to kind of make himself look a little taller. Which, I find that kind of funny. Where it's like, why do you need to, why do you need to pretend that you're another height? Is it just because you think people are going to respect you? I don't know. It just seems a little silly. But then again, I don't understand the mentality. I've always been kind of a tall person anyway, so it's always kind of been like, I've never really never been picked on because of my size. But then again, for a shorter person, I guess that's it's just a different world that I had never known. Probably got picked on for other reasons, but not for my height. I feel like a lot of people when I was younger were kind of afraid of me because of my height. How thick is this silly box thing? Let's pull in another image. All right. Alrighty. So now I'm going to start inking. Have I touched Inktober this month? Absolutely not. I haven't really done anything Inktober-ish at all this year. I usually don't, because I'm just the fall time is usually pretty damn busy. All my projects tend to come in around that time, so right now I'm doing a commission for somebody, a personal commission for somebody, in addition to my normal work as a colorist on the comic Excellence by Skybound in Image Comics, and any other projects that I have. So I'm kind of all over the place. I mean, granted, things have kind of calmed down ever since I've finished off the Contra project, but I've been pretty busy. So I mean, this and the piece that the piece of Norman Reedus on the bike, these are probably the only things, and then the next piece I'm going to do after this are probably the only Inktober-ish things that I'm going to be probably doing. But it's just one of those things. It'd be a fun thing to participate in. Anybody in here going to do the Stream for Life thing that's coming? Usually this weekend, a lot of streamers tend to do it, or they kind of do a 24-hour stream to raise money for for different charities. What was it, Game for Life or something? So you are planning to do it, eh? Nice. What are these? I guess it's I'm not sure what those are, but we'll find out later on. Yep, that's looking pretty cool. Let's try to give him, he kind of has his eyes have this kind of sleepy look to them. We'll give him that. Yeah, he kind of has like a sleepy eyes look to his eyes. So let's work that in. Yeah, that seems fun. Kind of has a long face. I almost feel like I want to adjust it. Where's that shot of him? I think he looks better that way. All right. Alright, I think that's good. A good sketch. Let's start inking it. Though I wish it was a little like Psy where you can instantly turn it blue. But unfortunately it doesn't do that. So oh, just stopped. YouTube was like, hey, are you watching this? Yes, still watching. Yeah, it feels like non-photo blue right there. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. And the pen I'm using is a little markery, where it's not a pure dark color. It also has a bit of a texture on it, if you can see. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's got a little texture to it, and it doesn't come out too dark. Because I want it to feel a little organic. I don't want it to feel so purely inky. Kind of like if you look at the way this one is, right? He's kind of like, you know, it's semi-rough. What's the size we're using? Yeah. And I have a bit of a light touch. So what I'll do is I'll just ink it out, and then I'll come back in and I'll start spotting blacks and stuff on there. When I do inking, I usually tend to ink all over. You know, I don't spend too much time on one spot because I kind of want to develop it all at the same time. See what you guys are saying. Yeah, it's kind of the blue that I'm using is kind of somewhat related to comics. You know, it's also easier to read whenever you kind of throw ink, you know, inks on it. Red tends to, like, if you use red, it kind of vibrates. So it's a nice light color. Sometimes what I'll do is sometimes I won't actually do this where I make it blue. Sometimes I'll just lighten the pencils, you know, the sketch. See what kind of hairline this guy has. Kind of rounded. Kind of giving him his ear shape. I notice that kind of helps with the likeness just a little bit. Just a slight feel of him. Especially right now, I don't actually need this. Is the use of the blue color lines related to comics that used to use a blue pencil? Yeah, the blue pencil. I think I sort of explained it before. It's kind of that, and it's also kind of doesn't vibrate against your eye so much. You can easily draw like ink over it, and your eyes don't kind of get too disturbed by the color. The color is actually called non-photo blue. It's a specific color that doesn't read in on a copy machine, and that's mostly the reason why they would use something like that for printing. So in other words, an artist or penciler could use that sort of color to kind of do their sketch. Oh. Always like this song. That was weird. It ended abruptly. Yeah, these songs end abruptly. Not sure why they're like that, but oh well. One thing, you know, whenever you're inking stuff digitally, it's always better to, at least I found, it kind of keeps the life of the drawing. Also, you know, not using too many different what do they call it? Different sized brushes. Because one thing is like about you know, obviously because this thing is digital, you can go almost infinitely close, but I feel like sometimes you lose that. You get like a, what do they call it, like a nesting doll sort of, Russian nesting doll sort of thing, or an infinite image, where in other words you can zoom in as close as possible and get all this sorts of detail, which officially if you were actually drawing it on paper, you would never be able to do that. You know, you're limited by the actual medium. You can never get that tiny and close, and especially when somebody's looking at a piece of artwork, you know, just with their own eyes, they're not, you know, there's enough detail there where they can see everything, but there's not so much where it just, you know, they can never get that close. So, I mean, yes, I've sort of fallen into that trap too, where you just kind of get so close to it and you can draw every little bit of detail. But I also think that, at least for these little tiny drawings, it really kind of helps that they don't actually, I can't go, you know, really tiny with the brushes. And they have a nice chunkiness to them, which I kind of like. They feel organic, they feel nice and quick, and that's part of why I started drawing the cast of Death Stranding like this, because I was like, I'm not so interested in the actors and creator people that are involved, but I do think that some of them are wearing kind of cool clothing and uniforms and things. It wasn't until later on where they started showing Norman Reedus' uniforms and things. That's where I started to sort of become more interested in the actual characters in the game, because I just felt like, oh, it's just a bunch of actors. Let's look at one of the other characters. He's looking a little cross-eyed. I'll look at the Mads one. It's funny, it's like it keeps starting over and over again. We just listened to this. See, I was able to get all this detail and stuff in there, but not too much. It's funny, the tempo of this song is the same as the other versions of it, but the horn sounds different. Like in the bass line. Well, it actually sounds like they're using a real saxophone in this one, as opposed to kind of like a fake synthesized one. Do, 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 do. So what? So the Dark Knight, you like you mean the Christian Bale one on his armor? I mean, you can get lost in all that sort of stuff. Sometimes you got to figure out when enough is too much, and because if you think about it, like obviously you're gonna see all the different, you know, the fact that the armor is not exactly right, but in general, most people are not gonna notice. So you always have to kind of, especially when you're doing things with a lot of armor detail and stuff like that, you kind of have to find that nice, you know, that nice, what do they call it, sweet spot. For these little CHIBI guys, I'm not worried too much about it. Just getting it close enough to black. actually helps it. Like, there are a lot of things on these that don't, like, at least originally, your older ones that I drew, they're not fully right. That's okay. Nobody really notices until, like, unless somebody's actually looking for it. But I think in general, just the image just helps it, you know? Just seeing the image as is fine. Not back in this hand. You're probably going to see me redraw the hands over and over again. Like this little wrist thing, the little handcuff thing. I'm probably not gonna get too crazy on it because I could easily just make it look exactly like it. But I think if you get it close enough, it'll be fine. Like just getting, like, see all the detail he's got in that glove. I'm probably not gonna do that. It's too, you know, at least the limitation of this little brush that I'm using kind of limits any sort of work like that. This doesn't sound very Zone of Enders. Big in the mouth. Yeah, I think that's much better. I think the one thing about it, like, you know, you can get all caught up in that sort of detail, but if it doesn't help the piece, it really doesn't matter. Because all of it, really it is all, really, you know, artwork is really more about the silhouettes that you create and and how they work together. You can break. That's what, you know, a lot of abstract art is. It's really just sort of simplifying artwork to its, you know, simplest means, and still being able to get the same sort of feelings and emotions across. So, but as long as your character, you know, as long as your character doesn't, you know, reads, and it also doesn't have to. It's okay if there's, if you don't get everything in there, unless it's really important to the piece. You know, if you're working for licensing and stuff like that, yes, they want to make sure that everything is perfect, right? They want to make sure that everything's on model. But even then, there's a fair amount of, you know, stuff they'll let you get away with, as long as it looks close enough, you know? There aren't too many people that you willing to work for in the industry where they get too bent out of shape if everything isn't perfect. But as long as it looks close enough, they will be fine. I tend to rotate the canvas to get those sorts of strokes that I can't normally get. Under normal circumstances, if I were drawing this on actual paper, I would probably be moving the thing all over the place, you know? So let's see what this device looks like again. So yeah, this device, as long as I get it close enough, I think it'll be fine. His heart monitor, right? I made his little heart monitor a little oversized just because it looks fun. Well, you know, drawing this little tiny... If it was proportioned to him somewhat, I feel like it wouldn't read as well. That's why I made them just a little bit oversized. The wire that's coming from here to his little chest monitor here, it's gonna be black lines. I could, you know, add a little shine to it, but I feel like it's such a thin line. Couldn't even get it with this brush that I'm using. And I could theoretically use a thinner one, but I feel like it defeats the purpose of it. It's really just meant to be nice, quick, fun little drawings. looking good. What color was his shoes? Were they black? So yeah, let's see. Quick and fun. That's what it's all about. All right. Yeah, what color was this guy's shoe? It's a dark blue. I always notice that, like, whenever Kojima designs, like, whenever they make characters in Kojima's games, like, they're always, everybody's clothing is just a little bit off from being in an actual person's clothing. There's always some sort of additional extra something in there that you can't do as a normal, like, you can't go to a store and buy that sort of jacket. Like, when you look at, like, Die Hard Man's outfit, right? You think he's just wearing a suit jacket, right? But really what he's wearing is, he's wearing almost a zip, like a fancy zip-up jacket that has, like, these sorts of, this weird, like, leather lapel and these kind of things on the side. He has, like, a zipper on the inside, and then he's got, like, these things, and he's got an ascot on. But they're all things that exist, but they're things that are slightly different. Also, his jacket's a little longer than a normal suit jacket. It's almost like a butler, his outfit. See? Something like that, where it's like there's no collar, no suit collar, suit jacket collar. He's got, I think and then on his shoulders he's got the two logos, the two Bridges logos. There you go. So yeah, everybody's outfits, like even like here, like he's just wearing a normal suit, but what they did was they just took that and they kind of, you know, recreated it, but then kind of made it its own sort of funky version of it, of a suit. So it's like, yeah, you can make a, I mean, you can go to a store and buy a similar, you know, like a similar colored suit jacket and all that other stuff, but it's also not exactly right to whatever the game is, you know, whatever he did in the game. He's got like zippers and things on the side here, and he's got these little funky like arm things. Nothing's normal on him. I'm just sort of spotting some blacks. That's my girlfriend giggling in the background. You giggling back there?
Yeah, I'm looking at funny shit.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm not crazy, I'm not laughing at nothing.
you're like the Joker, like just laughing to yourself. Hmm. So let's see what folks are saying inside of here. I tend to use Copex, but I've used every single other type of every single type of what do they call it? Every single type of marker. I started with design markers. Back in the day, those were the only things that you could use. There were these crazy like alcohol markers that made of like aluminum. And then the minute that you touch that thing down onto a piece of paper, it would instantly bleed all over the place. So you'd always have to color in like a little bit, like put a little bit of a space between there so that you could allow for something to bleed. Also, like putting a piece of cardboard behind the artwork would also help it to kind of absorb a little bit of that excess marker. But yeah, right now I use Copic markers. One thing about Copic markers is they kind of go fast, but then again, that's what it does, you know. But you know, to be honest, it's like whatever you think works best for you. I would suggest that, like, you know, yeah, try them out if you're interested in using them. But you know, make sure you what I used to do for practicing markers and stuff like that, I used to always make copies of my artwork. You know, like go to a little. Well, then again, now it's a little bit different. You can literally scan your stuff in and print it on a printer. But back when I was younger, we didn't have that. So you just walk over to the local copy place, and then you'd copy your artwork, and then you could save your original and not have to mess it up by, you know, trying to figure out how to work with the color. And obviously, you'd have situations where you go and you make copies, and then like they didn't clean the toner, or the toner's running out, and it leaves all kinds of streaks and stuff all over the artwork. And you spent, like, you know, sometimes later on they got more expensive, but it was like $1 or $2, you know, or 25 cents. And that's what I used to do back when I was young. Me and Tony, the host of Throwdown, we always used to, during the summer, we always used to have like sort of summer projects. Yeah, public printers are a little, you know, they usually just have all this, you know, people don't take care of them, stores don't take care of their devices, and there's all kinds of issues and problems they always have. But, you know, when I was younger, that's what you did. But yeah, if you want to, you know, essentially try to, you know, work with these sorts of things, you know, feel free to just go and make a scan of your work so you can keep the original around, and then print it out. And there's also kind of a marker paper that you can use, or you can use a paper that has a little bit of a heavier stock. Sometimes I use a little bit of a card stock if I know I'm going to use, if I'm going to be, you know, coloring something with markers. So. All Like one thing I would say, if you're planning to learn to try to teach yourself how to use any sort of medium, always try to make a project for yourself inside of it. Something that kind of makes you kind of forces you to use that sort of use it for something. But anytime I've tried to learn something new, I've always tried to make a little project that would allow me to use it. For Contra was actually one of those sort of test beds for me. Where I was using Paint Tool Sci. Not Paint Tool Sci, what was that program? I was using Clip Studio. So that project was, I was like, I'm gonna, Clip Studio, at least at the time I was using it, was just probably the only thing I could use that had that could handle the type of file size that I was using for Contra. So I decided to use it for there, and I eventually got a lot better at it, which really helped, because now I use a lot more Clip Studio. Clip Studio has a lot more features, a lot more. I mean, as much as I love Sci, Clip Studio also has a lot of really cool things inside of it that I'd like to use more, like a lot of the zip tones and stuff like that. All right. Nice and pretty clean. Little details here help it out. And the sort of language of these kind of chibis are a little bit like, they kind of have heavy blacks on them. So I feel like kind of nicely grounds them a little bit. So they don't feel just like pure anime things. There you go. What is that? A cold press? Is it hot press or cold press watercolor paper? There you go. Save it. Nice. Nah, don't use both sides. Just use. You could just use one side, just in case he does something on the other side does bleed through. I've had stuff like that. Alright, it's color time. So this guy seems to be, for these I'm just using the same color palettes on everything. So it's the same range of colors. Nothing worse than an open line. Yeah, that looks good. They all seem to be the same color range, but for some reason it always seems like he's a little bit lighter. That must be really funny, dear.
Yeah, you remember that Twitter account I told you about? Called what was it called? It was Dark Humor or something like that. It was called Real Dark Humor.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think that the account was like abandoned or something. It's not active. But I found the equivalent of that on Reddit.
Oh.
It's called "I'm going to hell for this."
Oh, okay.
So I'm this
You're just scrolling through everything and it's just being hilariously appalled by the things in it.
There's a lot of it brings back memories, and there's also some new stuff there that's making me laugh hysterically.
Let's see. Yeah, like I said, I'm just using this similar colors over and over again. There you go. There's your Metal Gear song. I remember when I was listening to this, I was like, when I was playing this, I was like, wait a minute, it's the Metal Gear song, just just like a jazz version of it. Kojima in this game seems to love emergency yellow. A lot of the items in the game are very emergency yellow, or kind of an orange. Also, you just sort of filling in the color right now. I'm gonna adjust everything else around it later. It feels like this suit might be a little too cyan. Let's see. That feels a bit better. eye color here. Yeah, that's cool. So I remember I had like a glow color. I don't know where it is though. Maybe it's, oh, okay, I know which one it is. Guillermo had a good. Could use some of these. Looking for this and this color. Better. Yep. Okay, now what we're doing is we're looking for, I'm just using the same range of colors for these things, so they all feel the same. What I'm might do here is just give his hair a little self-line to it. Almost feel like, okay. Too dark. Giving it a little rendering, nothing fancy, just enough. Kind of help it. And then what I'll use is the highlight color that I had using for his eyes there to kind of pop some little bits here and there. What's up? Oh, he's being a crazy. He's like, oh, I want that tail. You can tell he's bored. He's probably a little bored. He's a cat. He doesn't realize it's cat day. He rubs his hand on you? Oh, okay, it means he likes you. Okay. So don't know, they seem to be fitting. I think I drew the other ones in 2018. So that's him. Not so sure how successful it looks like him, but you know what? That's close enough, right? Should I make him his head thinner? Give him cheekbones. I think I do know that helps these guys is just the eyes. Yep, there you go. DVD. It's like, what else could you do there? Alright, that is Heartman. Let's save one for the internet. Let's save one for the internet, and then we'll make another one. Let's hope we can save one and it not crash. Perfect. Oh, there you go. Doesn't like it. Alright. Oh, good. One of the issues with Psy. But we'll open up Photoshop and it's all good. Hold on for a sec. I'm going to be making a quick post. See if we can get a couple of more folks in here and get talking, get rolling. What was the name of this guy again? Oh yeah, Nicolas. I wonder if he has a Twitter or something. Let's see. Sorry guys, I'm just making a little quick post. Alrighty, that looks like he's done. So let's move on to the next one.